It's time to get optimistic and acknowledge real emotions. Jordan standing by with Dan Mason. Tell us more.
Oh, yes. We're going to keep the good feelings going here. So we're talking about optimism and toxic positivity because there is a difference here. Our friend Dan Mason, career and life reinvention coach, to talk about the difference. When I was reading your notes, I'm like, wow, I'm actually guilty of some toxic positivity. So I'm learning a few things here, and I'm glad we're able to share it with our viewers here. So tell us what the difference is between being optimistic and having toxic positivity.
Optimism, Jordan, at the end of the day, is really about embracing and accepting the real challenges that we face in life. We don't diminish it, but we're able to cultivate an attitude where we anticipate eventually we'll get to a positive outcome. Toxic positivity, on the other hand, is sort of the product of 5 years of Instagram culture, where everybody just wants to share an inspiring meme, but actually deny those difficult emotions that might be helpful to feel when we're going through a challenge. Grief, anger, sadness are completely acceptable and normal reactions to the events that we've lived through over the past 18 months. But toxic positivity says, well, you got to push that down. You got to stay positive. The challenge is whatever we repress emotionally eventually turns into depression. So toxic positivity might work for you in the short term, but it's a really ineffective long-term strategy if you want to thrive and flourish as we re-enter the world.
Got it. So if the goal is to stay optimistic about life and accept, the challenges and the hardships, how do we cultivate a genuine optimism when times are so uncertain or difficult, like one that we're facing right now?
Yeah, well, the first step is to see things in your life for what they are. You have to be honest. Where am I right now in my career, in my finances, in my relationship? We want to face that head on without making it worse than it is. The second step there is to really identify and name those emotions that we're feeling. Accept it. That's all part of the acceptance process. But then we want to move into seeing things better than they are, really trusting in our ability, in the universe supporting us as we move through and make positive changes in our life. And then the fourth step is to get an action plan together and get about the business of making that plan so.
And when it comes to just talking things out or working things out, a lot of us go to our friends or family members to sort of, as we say, get it off our chest. But that's an opportunity for us to actually maybe sway them in many different ways. But you have suggestions on how to avoid toxic positivity when you're trying to support a friend. What are those suggestions?
Yeah, what you really want to do is be able to allow people to have their unique emotional experience, their reaction to what they're going through without either trying to change it or make them wrong for it. So often, we know people who've lost people during COVID, and we'll tell them, well, they're in a better place now. The real optimistic approach would be, you know what? I can tell you really miss them. That's much more empathetic and validating. For the person who's angry about losing a job or something that happened in their relationship, rather than telling them, well, anger's not going to get you anywhere. Just say, hey, I can tell you're really hurting right now. Empathy is the name of the game. We can do it with our friends, and this will absolutely move your romantic relationships forward as well whenever your partner is having an experience that you don't agree with.
I like that so much. I'll be honest, I've been guilty of some of that toxic positivity, but it's acknowledging the other person's emotions. Dan, there's so much more to talk about, and if you'd like to learn more about the work that he does, he's helping people all around the world improve their lives just one step at a time. We've got the information up on our website as well. It is creativesoulcoaching.net. His name is Dan Mason. You can learn more about that. He's got a lot of great programs and even a podcast as well. Dan, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it every day. All right, we got more coming up right after the break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.